Greetings and salutations, this is Rick. I do hope you're having a great day. Alright, so this is part 2 kind of the video I put up previously. I'm presuming that was yesterday. And this is a continuation of working on this room. Now you may have noticed with the sound that the room is a little bit less echoey, only a little bit at the moment. That's because I've done a thing, and I will show you that momentarily, but I actually filmed a little bit before I started this introduction, so I'm going to slot that in a moment. But basically, I've started work on the walls of the soundproofing. Well, it's not soundproofing, it's audio treatment of the walls, and what that does is that stops the reverb, that stops the echo that you get from an empty, bare-walled room. And I've got to admit, it's looking quite good. But first, I've got to show you this little bit of footage to put it into some sort of context. Right then, I just thought I would show you the very first tiles that I've got up, just to show you how I'm doing it. I've managed to get that to stick to the wall. The whole thing is self-adhesive, but I don't want this entire thing sticking to the wall. So what I've been doing is I've just been putting a little slice across the paper in the corners and just peeling off, and that's more than adequate, that's more than enough to get this thing to stick to the wall. So looking ahead to the future, when it comes to actually removing these tiles, hopefully the job shouldn't be too difficult. So that is enough, so I can leave that like completely untouched. And then that is enough to, if I get this absolutely lined up, also gives you a fighting chance of moving if you have to. There we go. And that is perfect. And then what we've got here, I can show you, is I'm using these tiny, tiny little map pins. And these are just enough to hold this in place without having to get involved with, self-adhesive or adhesive glues and things. And all I'm doing is I need to put about 4 in place. Well, I did on the first one. We'll see where we're at with this second one. But yeah, it's like lifting off the wall a little bit there. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna pop that in there, just in the crevice where you can't see it, although that is causing the foam to bend in a little bit, but when the next one goes up against it you won't see that. But that's more than enough to hold this in place. Let's just get another one in there without it being problematic. And then obviously taking it off the wall at a later date is just going to be a question of pulling out the pins, and that saves me having to mess about with glue. Now obviously if you've got a solid wall it's going to be more problematic because you're not going to be able to push these in. This is plasterboard, so you're going to be able to push these in easily. But what I have just noticed though is that has got a slightly different sparkle to that. So yeah, look, if I look from that angle, that looks as sparkly as that one. Right, so I'm going to have to be careful with this because that's more matte, that's more sparkly. But if I take that tile off and turn it 90 degrees, it'll be the same matteness as that. So yeah, I will have to be careful and make sure that these things are put on the right way round, because they've obviously got a slightly different interaction with the light depending on their rotation. So they've kind of got a grain, but it's good to notice early on. It's going to take me ages, but I don't mind. I love doing this sort of thing, and it'll be interesting to see what that looks like when we've got a good substantial amount on there, and also what the room sounds like, which is the important thing. Anyway, I'm going to get on, put the radio on, chill out, have a listen, and just slowly build, and we'll see what we come up with. So here we are, after that little first placing of the two different corner tiles, and I've been at this for probably about 2 hours now, and the result is I'm really quite pleased with it. So shall I show you? Shall I? Okay, reveal, or should I leave the reveal for the finished thing? No, I will. No, I will show you, because if I hold off until a studio reveal video, there are so many other videos that I can make on this journey, and it means I'll have to shield everything from the camera all the time. So no, I'll just show you now. So this is what we've got so far, and all it is a simple mix of different types of acoustic tiles, and all these do is stop the bounce or the reflection of the sound. I mean, if I get close to this, all I can hear is my sound not bouncing back at me. Whereas if I do it here against the wall, you can straight away hear this echo coming back. But this completely deadens the sound. And so I decided I didn't want just one big black wall of foam. I wanted to break it up. So I got these foam tiles as well, which are also sound absorbent. And it's looking quite good. I managed to get these really cool sound tiles as well, which are squares, and they do line up quite well. In the old days, all you could ever get was these little triangle things, and they look a bit rubbish. But what I might do is, if I still find there's a little bit of echo once I treated these two main walls, then I might get some of the cheaper ones just to fill any remaining spaces, because they'll be off camera, nobody will see them, but they'll still do a job. But I must admit, I am really, really pleased with that. Really quite happy. And at a later date, if I want to swap out these tiles for some other ones, everything's 12 by 12, so I can easily pop these tiles off the wall. They're only held in with little map pins. But yeah, very happy so far. Right then, it's now evening. I've been at this for a good chunk of the day, but it's not looking bad. I can just about see that on the camera. So yeah, it's okay. Obviously what's most important is when I stand here, there's no echo. And that's the whole point of them being there. But also they've covered up a multitude of sins on the wall. I shall carry on tomorrow with some more of the grey stuff, and then I'm not even sure how far I need to go that way, but I'll probably get some more of the black tiles up to the corner, although I haven't measured yet. But no, I think we'll be all right. I think they'll go up to the corner, and then more grey. But I may have overbought, to be honest. I think I'm actually going to be able to do more of the space than I actually need to. But yeah, very pleased with those. I've still got a load soaking in the bath. They're still failing to get this on. They're still failing to completely. Well, see, they're fine, and then we've got these ones, and they're just completely flat. But I have found a way of doing it. You literally grab one side and grab the other, and you pull them apart, and they very slowly do go into shape. So there is a way of saving them. But I'm just going to leave these ones overnight and just see whether they decide to finally take their shape or not, or whether I'm going to have to tease them all apart. I still haven't cleaned those boxes up yet. That's fine, they can stay there all night. Right, so I'm just going through some of the comments that I have received on my video that I put up this morning. And that was the At Home with Rick pottering and pondering some upcoming changes. I actually made this video like a week ago, and it's only gone up today. So I'm kind of a week ahead of all the comments that have been coming in today, and thank you so much. There are so many really good ideas and suggestions here, and this is the video where I'm just pondering the idea of doing a podcast, and I'm wandering around in the craft room, which I haven't even started disassembling. So that's the video where I'm sorting through a box of rags. Well, that's all been done and dealt with now, like almost a week ago. But there are some great ideas here. And I know I mentioned in that video that I'm thinking along the lines of a subject, like a podcast subject of like living the single life in the UK. And I've thought about it some more, and I've evolved the idea a little bit more as well, because I thought to myself the other day, okay, so you're going to make a conversation about single life in the UK. Say, for example, you wanted to make a documentary on the single life in the UK. What would that documentary feature? And the first thing that sprang to mind would be, well, it would probably be cameras following around a single person living in the UK, and they would be going out and doing things on their own. And I thought, well, there's a problem to start with, because I don't go out anywhere and I don't do things. Not really. I have a very, very stuck at home life. So there's not a whole lot of material there to talk about. I know there are several aspects of that side of life that I can touch on, but I don't think it's going to make a massively a massive podcast series with lots and lots and lots of episodes. So anyway, I've been like teasing out new ideas and ways forward, and half the battle is, I think, for podcast, you need to just launch, just get on, start making episodes, and some subject, what's the word? You need to be in flight to find where you need to go, if you know what I mean. You sort of just got to launch, just start doing some chatty podcasts, throw them out there, and then from that you'll start to get a feel for what you actually want to do, in a more serious way. But anyway, one thing I've really been wanting to do, I want to get some nice ambient lighting in there, and maybe some nice little parts, some comfy chairs. And I was thinking, I want to keep whatever I do, I want it to be chilled and relaxed. And because that's my voice tends to lean itself more towards the chilled side of things. I can't be that animated. I mean, I can be animated, but I'm much more comfortable being chilled. So I was thinking I could probably do almost like a fireside chat type thing. And if I were to have, I'm actually thinking, I've got my little fireplace there, and I was thinking I could get that upstairs, have it in the little podcasty space, and have a couple of old fogey chairs like that one. I've got two chairs, mismatched chairs, that could sit either side of the fireplace, and I could just set up a couple of microphones and a little table, and that could be, like a fireside chat sort of chair. And I could cover subjects, all sorts of subjects, including single life in the UK. I could cover a whole manner of topics. But I don't know. Honestly, the subject brainstorming and ideas have been evolving every day for the last week, and I've been coming up with new ideas, getting closer to a subject matter that I want to work with. But I think ultimately I just need to sit down and just pick something, run with it for a while, and just see how things go, and see whether I find myself leaning in certain directions, and then just go from there. But I think that's going to be the plan. But that is it. I'm going to settle down now for the evening and just chill out and get some rest. And I'm going to obviously carry on with that room tomorrow. I've got to have a proper think now about some sort of furniture. Like I say, I I might toy with the idea of the fireplace, although then I'll have to figure a place to put my TV, because obviously my TV sat on the fireplace. I have got that unit there which I could sit the TV on, but then I've got the sound bar which would be in the way, so I'd have to build a little thing to sit the TV legs on. I don't want to put the TV on the wall. Not a massive fan of TVs on the wall, although I've still got that option upstairs. That was the other option with the room upstairs. Rather than have a fireplace, I could have a TV on the wall and have whatever graphics I want on that, because I've got that spare 45 inch TV up there which I could put on the wall. Don't know, I haven't thought that deeply about it yet, but no doubt it will take shape and turn into hopefully something quite cool, but quite what that will be, we'll have to see. But also, if I don't like it, or you know, it's not quite right, it's going to be a kind of a set, so I can probably, you know, change things out and experiment with different designs and stuff. So but it's all good. Anyway, that's it. Like I say, I'm going to settle down for the evening, so I'm going to sign off with this video here, and then we'll carry on again tomorrow. And hopefully I can make a video. The problem I got now, I've got 3 videos that I've made, well, I've recorded, but because I'm so busy, I haven't had any time to edit them, because I've been like doing this full time, which is what I tend to do when I have a project on. I tend to throw myself at it full tilt, and then like the whole of life goes on hold until it's done. So I've got a feeling you might not get these till a little while after I've actually done everything, which means the comments aren't going to be consistent with like real life, because they'll always be behind. But I will do my best to see if I can maybe set aside a day this weekend and get all 3 edited, although it can take like a whole day to edit my videos. But what I might do is just rattle some together, warts and all, and then throw them up, and hopefully I can play some sort of catch up, so I can start throwing videos out there in real time again, so they're actually up to date. Anyway, I'll worry about all that tomorrow. I need to chill out for the evening. So anyway, that is it from me. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.